What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can tell, we are in a very different location and very far from where we were a couple weeks ago. We are now 1,400 kilometers south in a town called Salt Lake City, Utah. Yes, that's right. We are in the United States of America. Just quickly, I just want to say the Mustang has come from America, went to South Africa. They went from South Africa, a little bit of a ship ride to Canada, and is now back in the United States of America. So she has done some traveling, man. Man, it was surreal just crossing the border with a car and being in the US with the Mustang. It's just that I never knew, even bringing it to Canada wasn't possible, but having it in the US, yeah, crazy. So some of you may recognize where I am. Some of you may even recognize the hoods up on the roof. And for some of you who recognize that, you have guessed correctly. We are at JTP, Justin Pawlak's shop here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I've come down here for a little bit of help. You know, come to the guy who knows everything about Mustangs. Well, I mean, I say everything. He doesn't know everything. Just kidding. He knows pretty much everything. And decided to come out here. And Justin and another guy, Tim, who designs and fabricates their suspension, was like, well, while you're out here, we might as well throw our suspension in your car. So this is a big, there's so much change happening to the car right now. I've got to slowly digest and explain what's happening. But basically, we are going with the full Hotline Performance front and rear drift kit for the Mustang. So the fronts we've got in kind of just mocked up for now. So, oh, and the knuckle. So new knuckle, Hotline knuckle, Hotline lower control arm. We're going to be changing the coilovers, and I'm about to change out the rear suspension. It's pretty dark out here, so you won't be able to see me. I'm going to come out in the light. So we're about to change out the rear suspension. Man, I don't think I have taken the subframe out in years. It's definitely been some years. You can see by all the dirt and dust and everything on here. Give it a good clean. There's some places underneath that I want to stitch weld. So I'm going to have to clean off a lot of paint. There's some sections that still got seam sealer, so I'm going to go ahead and get that taken off, and then get this cleaned up, put the new suspension on, drop it back in, because not only do we have new suspension, but we also have new shocks, coilovers for the rear, which is super exciting. They look fantastic. All of the suspension parts and diff is now removed from the subframe. And what I went ahead and did was, there were some brackets over here, over here, over here, and over here that we no longer use or will be using. So the old fuel tank used to mount on here, which was a bit of an inconvenience because it was hard to get to these bolts without moving the fuel tank back. So that's all being changed now with the radium fuel cell. So we can go ahead now and get this guy all cleaned up and resprayed, and get the new suspension parts put back in. I have created a little spray booth so that we can try contain as much of the overspray as possible. I'm going to put the subframe down here, spray that first, take that outside so it can dry. But I've done all the stitch welding, stitch welded the mounts where the subframe mounts to, and also the braces that go across just to strengthen those up. Stitch weld all along there, along the outside, underneath. So yeah, I'm just gonna concentrate on spraying this area first where the subframe mounts, just so I can put the subframe in and get the car rolling again so it's not immobile. So I'm just going to concentrate on, I'm going to spray all this area in the front of over there, just where the hard places to reach when the subframe's in. I am going to respray the entire underneath again, but just for now, I'm going to do that. So I'm excited, but first we're going to spray the subframe and then the underneath. 1x freshly painted subframe coming right up. Looking good. I got the diff all cleaned up too. I have no idea what this is, but I tried to get it off. It didn't want to come off. Ready to get put back in. I still need to figure out. I cannot get the nuts loose on the axles. So I may need to put everything back together, put the brakes on, then like kind of jam it so I can put a big power bar on there. I can get these all nicely cleaned up. I need to get fresh new boots here. So yeah, lots to do, but time to get the subframe put in. There we have it. So as you can see, the old paint in this area had come off in a lot of spots. And now we have the new section painted. And you can see painted the front. I just did one coat. Just you can see I missed a spot there. But all the places that I stitch welded is all covered now. And they need this back area, which didn't look so great before. Looks way better now, so yeah, happiness. I'm gonna still stitch weld up there, but I just wanted to get the subframe in so it's movable. Freshly painted subframe is in. Looking good. Even the diff looks new. Looking good, looking spicy. Next step is we are going to be putting in our new suspension. What the heck? It's like waving to us. So we got new coilovers, Feel 442 coilovers that we're putting in, as well as Hotline Performance rear suspension. So we're gonna have way more adjustment right now and way more side bites on the car. Still gotta put shocks on these. I think my old ones might fit. I'll have to see. But these are the new top hats. Obviously the old ones we modified to fit this spring. So I'll see if these springs fit on these coilovers. But these basically replace these so that this can fit on there. And yeah, so I can go ahead and get all that put in. She's looking good. Okay, so subframe is in, but what I quickly learned was the old link where this forward arm would mount on the lower control arm, it's in a different position now than it was on the stock lower control arm, because we had moved that mounting point so the brake caliper could fit. But now the brake caliper does not fit, so we're in a bit of a predicament, but we have some options. Option 1 is the JTP special, which is the JTP mounting brackets for the dual wheelwood caliper. So this basically mounts, I haven't got it set up how it goes, but basically mounts like this where your wheel bearing goes on, and then you got dual caliper setups with this rotor on the back, which is a nice thin, these are two sandwiched together, which is a nice thin rotor, which is also a JTP special. So that's option 1, best option. Option 2 is, because this is my setup at the moment, we added on this piece with the BMW caliper, and that obviously works with this heavy ass rotor. So either we figure out a way to get another caliper that fits with this link going down here, because my caliper hits this link that's going down over here, that arm I was showing you on the car. So that's our predicament. I've just put new longer ARP studs on here, way longer than the stock ones. The stock ones probably come to like here somewhere, so that's nice. The bearings are still good, so I'm going to keep these. Not going to change those out, but that's our brake situation. So yeah, once we have all that figured out, then we'll know exactly what brake setup we're running. But I love the look of these with the external canister. This is obviously the caliper that's giving us issues, that's hitting on this arm now. So yeah, which is obviously the brake, handbrake, and then the foot brake still on the stock mounting position. So another upgrade that we've done is we've taken out this rubber bushing and we have replaced it with a solid spherical bearing. So that matches, this side is OE, is that spherical bearing. So this rubber bushing used to be in there, press that out and put in a spherical bearing. So everything's nice and solid and still got good movement. Tomorrow I give these a good wash in the power washer, and then we'll see if we have to cut these off or not. Still haven't decided, but yeah. Alright guys, so we have decided what we are going to do with the brake setup, and we are going to be going full JTP setup on this rig. So what that means is I have to cut off this tab that my dad welded on here for the handbrake caliper, as well as the top tab, it's this one, the top tab for the stock caliper. And then basically this guy mounts sandwiched between the wheel bearing and the knuckle, and then basically gets a wellwood setup with these rotors, also JTP spec rotors on there, with obviously wellwood calipers, and each of them mountain here. I actually end up losing also a lot of weight on the rear end with this setup. The stock rotors are a bit overboard for drifting, so we get to get rid of that and just go with a single vented disc and a super lightweight hat on the rotor, and then also run the wellwood calipers, which are a lot smaller and a lot more compact than the stock one and the BMW caliper that we were using before. So first things first, let's go ahead, get this chopped off, that chopped off, get these knuckles all nice and clean and ready to be put together. This one all cleaned up, got the where I cut those pieces off, got it all ground down and smoothened out. So I couldn't get it too perfect there, but not too worried, better than what it looked like. So that's what that looked like. And then oops, yeah, for this one just making it smoother like I did over there, so that it looks a lot better. And then we'll go and give these guys a good scrub to get them looking all good again. Making progress. It feels like a Christmas morning for me, and I'm sorry about the eye. Yesterday I was doing some grinding or something on the car, and I had a piece of metal go in my eye, and it didn't really annoy me until I tried to sleep last night, and that was an epic failure because I did not manage to get any sleep. I think I actually managed to fall asleep between 6:30 and 8 in the morning, but I was like, every time I nodded off, my eye would just like burn, So this morning I went to the optometrist and they had to drill out a piece of metal that was in my eye. So he showed me the video of him drilling it out, and the metal had already started rusting in the piece where it was. So forgive my eye, I'm sorry, but like I was saying, it feels like a Christmas morning because look what's arrived. Woo! Dude, man, I can't explain how excited I am to put these amazing items in this car. So my rear calipers arrived. Obviously we run dual caliper, and my JTP rotors are here. So we're obviously going to be ditching the old rotor setup, which these things are enormously heavy, and it being vented, like dual vented discs on a drift car, especially on the rear, is definitely not needed. So we have our i1 suspension all in, and look how nice this thing moves. Look at that. I'm like hardly doing anything. That is just perfect. So that is all in. That's good. All nice and tight. We sent my axles in to get reserviced. So those are busy getting serviced. So now what we're going to do is mount up the new Willwood calipers onto their new spots over here. As you saw previously, my old calipers were welded onto this knuckle. So we're going to go ahead, put the new calipers on, put the new rotors on. Damn, does she look sexy. Woo. So new brakes are on. Obviously, the only thing left now is to put the axles in when we get the axles and to make new brake lines. So we'll get rid of these hard lines, and then from the T piece, basically back over here, there's a T for the handbrake and a T for the foot brake. So from both these T's, we'll have soft lines going out to either or to the calipers. So looking good, man. I love it. Another thing we have acquired ourselves is acquired. Is acquired the right word? I don't know. But we have acquired ourselves a new handbrake setup, which I've just finished drilling the holes for and putting in the bolts. And this is also one of the JTP handbrakes. It comes with the Willwood bracket and the Willwood master cylinder, 3/4 of an inch Willwood master cylinder. And these are also available on Hotline Performance's website, which I will link in the description. So go ahead, check them out. I'm going to go ahead and get this guy installed. Very easy, just bolts to my original bracket. I just had to drill these two holes. My other bracket was 4 bolts. This one is 2 bolts, much more slimmer, much more prettier than the one I had. So happy to put this on. So let's go ahead and get her on. love it. And then I like it also that it's right, like my steering wheel sits around here, so it's super close. And then another thing we're gonna have to figure out is the gear position on the gear lever position on the new gearbox, which is a dog box. So we might have to make a different lever for that to bring it backwards, but that arrives tomorrow, and then we'll be able to see and test fit and see how everything goes. So yeah, that's done. So my Andrews gearbox has arrived, and we've already torn it down. It quickly came, and we were like, we need to get this thing on the bench ASAP and get some parts ordered. So this is a very second-hand gearbox, maybe even fifth or sixth-hand gearbox. So we got it for a super great deal. Basically what was wrong was this handcuff bearing failed. So you can see it totally failed. Obviously it's meant to look more like that one. So this was basically stuck on the cluster shaft over here, and this is how it's really meant to look. This is just in an aluminum case, and a couple of the gears got a little bit damaged, but what we wanted to do anyway was change the gear ratios, so they're a bit all over the place currently in this gearbox. So what we're going to do is we wanted to change this gear ratio anyway, so we're going to replace this cluster shaft. We also have to replace the main shaft, because as you can see on the end here, if you can see properly, the pieces on the end have kind of broken off where one of these circlips kind of go on, and it won't be able to retain itself there with these pieces missing. So we got to get a new main shaft. We're also changing the ratios, so we've already changed this one, which is your main drive, basically fourth gear, to a 2024 tooth, and then that will help us kind of with ratios throughout the gearbox, being the main drive gear. So yeah, we just had to order one more other gear, which should be in the next couple days, and then our cluster shaft and main shaft will also be with that gear, so then we'll be able to put it all back together. So yeah, good progress. Parts are coming in. We also got all of our radium fuel cell stuff, except the fuel cell, there's a bit of a backlog, so that is still coming. Got my clutch is here ready. All the radium fuel stuff is here, so that's super exciting. I'm so excited to put all of that together. And then also got myself a set of front headlights, so that's all looking nice and smart. So we're really investing in our program and making sure the car is in tip-top shape for the new season. Also going with the US spec lights, because the Euro spec, my lights are destroyed, so they'll go. And it's also the 2018 newer style lights. These were the 2015 to 17 lights. And then we're going to do some fiberglass work on the back, clean that all up. Yeah, lots of work, but I'm glad we're doing it. It's going to be a totally different car. It's going to be crazy, but I'm excited. My radium fuel cell has just arrived. This is super exciting. I managed to at least film this before opening the box, so it hasn't been open yet. So I'll do you the honors of opening up the box. Here we go. Oh, look at that beauty. Lovely. Simply lovely. Yeah, just finished cutting off the piece of chassis over here. We're trying to get another frame rail that goes here, as well as this top piece, because this top piece is a bit buckled over here, and it'll just be easier to cut this top piece off. We can straighten this piece once the top piece is off and then put that all back together, or if we're able to get a car and just cut that whole bottom and top piece off together, ideal. But we're waiting to hear feedback.
Cutting things.
Like on this,
on that dot.
yeah,
I'm gonna try to like go just in front of that dot.
yeah.
Like try to get it. I'm gonna try to shoot for like right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yahtzee.
Sick.
Alright.
In the back we go. Bumpy ride fast.
Alright guys, after all of that craziness, we are back in the shop. So we got the new top apron. So basically, we are going to be replacing, my one is very crooked and bent, as you can see. It's taken a beating. So basically, what we're going to be doing is, from here, this point here forward, we'll keep this bottom piece intact with that one we just got. We're going to replace the whole top piece, but just keep from basically here backwards. We're not going to change on the actual car, but basically that from that piece we're going to keep the entirety of it till this point. Chop the bottom off, then just do the top piece. I hope I'm explaining that correctly, otherwise you'll need to wait to see once I got it all ready to get on there. And this is the front chassis leg, ready to get mounted. Well, not ready yet. I got to trim all this stuff off, trim all these guys off, pretty much get it ready. Make sure that's cut straight, because Justin cut it very straight, as you can tell. And then yeah, basically get that all welded up. So we got lots of work. We got that piece off. This little piece of junk. Don't need that anymore. Scope now that is off. Off over there. Almost ready to get on. I've just got to figure out nicely where to cut over here. We might just split this and stretch it and then slide it over this part of the chassis rail so it overlaps. So I think we're going to do that. Obviously not overlap so it interferes with this bolt, but just before that, just going to cut a couple more tabs off, clean this guy up, and then what we'll do is we'll use this, because we know this one's perfectly straight. We'll bolt it up here, bolt this side onto the side, bolt it up, make sure we got our measurements, and then we should be good. So yeah, progress is coming along nicely. Things are moving along. We got the front chassis rail on here, and it is looking nice and straight. So what I'm going to be busy with now is getting this apron off here. What we're going to do, I think I explained a bit already, but gonna get all these welds drilled out, all the spot welds drilled out, and then get that guy cleaned up to get put on here. So let's go ahead and get this guy off this car and get the freshie on here. Here we go. Oh. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Drilling all of these out and this thick steel, these parts are terrible. So I've got so many. I'm going to do all of these along the side until about here somewhere, because we'll use the bottom section of this up until just before the strut tower here. So basically from here forward we'll use of this piece, so it's over here somewhere. Use from here forward. So I can just measure from this hole to this edge. I'll straighten this nicely, get this nice and straight first. Then from this hole to the edge I'll measure, and then I can measure from that hole forward to see where I must cut. Give myself a little bit of room. But yeah, going good. Okay, we got the piece. So this is what we needed basically. This arm over here, the side piece, and just the front bottom section, which is going to tie up to this guy. So basically, this will match up to there, and we'll have a nice straight panel on the side here. As you can see, those should match up pretty good over there. I try to cut it as straight as I can. This is the first time I've actually looked under there, so I still need to clean up the edges and obviously do measurements. Luckily we got this fresh chassis here, we can do measurements of that. Luckily, from what I can tell, all the spot welds should be... Oh, sorry guys, throwing you around there. All the spot welds should be more or less the same place. So as you can see, where I ground the spot welds off on this side, it's cleaner. So that's exactly what you see showing through on the side. So we've got to go ahead, clean all these edges up, make sure that's good for welding, get all these burrs off of there, and we can pretty much, I think that cut is actually pretty good. If I look where this is sitting, that's pretty much good, but we'll do measurements and check from there. But good progress. Alrighty, so we got everything lined up quite nicely. We got the radiator support in, we got this cross support in here, and everything is lined up. We also straightened out the strut towers, so that's now nice and straight. So now we can go ahead, get everything tucked in and welded in, and it should be good. It should be good.
Should be good until the first event where you just smash it.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Alrighty, so this part is welded on. That is all good to go. I'm going to do this next, but I want to first... There's a part on there that I need to just butt up on the bottom end a bit better. But yeah, this part's in. That should be good to go. And then once we get everything good, we'll reinforce. We'll run a pipe from here, basically touch down here. It'll run down to about here somewhere, and then we'll run a bar straight across, and then another pipe up that side again. So, because basically we're not allowed to reinforce the strut towers from the strut towers back to the firewall, so we have to do it forwards. So yeah, but it looks already so much better that it's now nice and straight. So happy about that. And I need to do some more work on the bottom end. But yeah, looking good. Everything is now welded up. Thinking of maybe plating this, but unsure yet what we're gonna do. It's all welded up. Obviously this guy's all done. So she's all nice and straight again, which is lovely. Obviously this fits nicely. The core supports fit nicely, so we are good to go. Alright guys, we're going to end the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. In the next video, we're going to be putting in the new engine. Well, first assembling the new engine, putting it in with the new gearbox, and as well as the new side shafts and a whole bunch of new goodies that's going in the car. Be sure to tune in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Catch you later.
Peace.